All right, so quick tour of the van. Well, I say quick, they always take like a half hour, but we'll be quick. So the van chassis, it's built on a 2016 Ram 2500 Promaster. It's the 159 wheelbase standard box, so not the extended length, but the standard box, and it's the high roof. So I got that length specifically because width is just a touch shorter and a touch narrower than a standard four-door F-150 standard bed truck, and so that means like any normal parking spot it'll fit in. So it's not, you don't have to worry about the tail hanging off or trying to maneuver it around it. It turns real tight and you can get it into some kind of tight spaces given how big the van is. So, and it does have the power folding mirrors. If you are getting kind of a tight spot, you just push the button and pull the mirrors in. So let's go inside. So starting with the floor, and then actually all the way around, all four sides are 1-inch foam insulation, and then the floor has plywood on top and then sheet vinyl on top of that. I went with the sheet vinyl instead of the plank, like the vinyl plank wood look things, just because that would make one solid waterproof membrane. It's still not totally waterproof. If water goes to the edge, it can still get under it right there, but water spots in the middle, mud on your shoes, stuff like that, nothing's going to seep down to the plywood underneath, so it'll last a little bit longer, hopefully, that way, and it's proven to be pretty durable. So this is set up to take a Ford Transit back seat. It snaps in, you see there's brackets in the floor right there, and I'm selling the van with the seat. It's just not in right now, and that has the seat belts built into it. So, and I actually had a buddy of mine owned a machine shop in Detroit, and he made a lot of the molds and stuff for the car manufacturers there in Detroit, and he helped me manufacture some special shims that kind of custom fit to the corrugated metal on the bottom of the van. So it's a super sturdy build, and the seat belts are built into the seat, so it's a safe, nice, solid build. So the batteries here, 200 amp hour Renogy AGM, which is brand new right now, just put it in, so totally new. And then I've got shore charger and extension cord stuff, I keep that in here, and I keep dog leashes and stuff in here. It's a big old storage box there. So it charges off the engine or off shore power, and I have the engine charging control and the voltmeter up near the driver's seat. When I originally built the van, I had it back here, and I figured out I was only paying attention to it when I was driving, so I ended up moving the voltmeter up there, and it's something you can turn on and off, and you know, kind of just however much you're using it, you can turn it on, and that way you're not loading the alternator when you don't need to be. So maybe one of my favorite things in the van, something that I put in after I built it once, tore it all out, and then rebuilt it with a heated shower. So the shower space doubles as closet space. So what we'll do is I'll hang, if I'm going on a long trip, I'll hang my closet or jackets and pants and hang up stuff here, and then I'll put gear bags on the floor. Dog water bowls also go nice in here because it just drains right out if they spill it. When I want to take a shower, if I've got my clothes and whatnot on here, I just take the shower rod off and then hang all the clothes right there, and then shower curtain goes up. Whoops. Just like that, and then you've got a heated shower. The heater is a propane tankless heater, so it's an on-demand heater. And this is a heater that's approved for indoor use. So it's got an oxygen sensor on it. So if somehow in a van you figured out how to run this thing long enough and hot enough to run the oxygen out in the van, it would shut itself off. Honestly, you've got the fan running, so you never run out of oxygen in the van, but the safety feature's there. So, and then onto the galley. So 1.5-inch wood countertop. I made this countertop, and then I took the same wood and made the backsplash in the side area here, which I see some vans that don't have backsplashes built in, and I don't like that, because you get water on here and that's just be a mess and get all icky and stuff. So, and this is all urethaned over with like a semi-gloss urethane, so it just you get water on here, splashes, whatever, it just wipes off real easy. So this is another favorite part of the van, induction cooktop. So this will power off the inverter that we've got. I've got a 1500 watt pure sine wave inverter, and this thing's boils water super fast, super efficient, and it doesn't make a lot of excess heat like propane or like a normal electric stovetop would. It's also more efficient with the electricity that you do use. So cutting board and that also doubles as like if you want more countertop space, that just sits right there. So cutting board there. The water pump's on a switch, and I leave it off most of the time just so the system's not pressurized if I don't need it. But I put the light on there so that you know that it's on, so the signal turned off. But the pump only runs when there's no pressure. So if you open the thing, the pump will run, and then you turn it off, the pump will cut off there as soon as it builds the pressure back up. So, but for the most part, I just leave the water pump off when I'm driving around just so the system's not under pressure. So now with the lights, they're all LED. All the lights in the van, the reading lights, the overhead lights, they're all LED. So I have them on 3 different switches. So I have a switch for the circuit for the one over the bed, and that's right here on the backsplash that you can reach from the bed. And that's so, you know, if you're getting ready to go to bed, you can leave all the other lights off, have these on, and then switch those off when you're in bed ready to go to sleep. The middle 2, which are kind of the main 2 you use, they're on their own switch. And then these front 2, which the front one also doubles as the light in the shower, those are on their own switch. And the thinking there was like, if my wife and I are sleeping and I get up and I need to do something here, like early in the morning, making breakfast or whatever, I can just turn just that light set on, and it puts light in the van, but not so much that it's going to be like blinding her or wake her up or whatever. So it's kind of a nice system. So the van does have a toilet, so that's down here. So you get a little special compartment there. Slide your toilet out. That's a Thetford 135. I went with this instead of something that used like a black water tank or whatever, just because I didn't want to be having to find black water dump sites all the time. Same thing with gray water, and you'll see same thing with my fresh water in a second. This is all portable, so I can just, you know, be anywhere that has a toilet. This thing, you just take the little bottom 1/3 of it, it's the little canister, and you just pour it out in the toilet. And then, so you can just, you know, you don't have to worry about trying to find stuff. Gray water, same deal, just drain out to the floor. And if you're somewhere that requires you to not do that, like state parks or whatever, let's say that you can't do that, I just put a bucket under the drain. So, and then you can carry that over to their dump site. So there's storage on top of this. I just put storage here because this is a good height for a seat. And so like when I get ready for a bike ride or whatever, just sitting, looking out the door, that's a nice height for it. So then they also have storage for a bunch of stuff in there. This is where our pantry is. So we keep all our dry food stuff in there, canned goods, all. So yeah, there's the pantry. This is just a little rock climbing hole that I put in here just for fun to get up here. We usually step on this and this to get up on the bed. So the van has a diesel fired furnace. And that is, it does run off the battery to run the fuel pump and the fan, but the heating is done by diesel. And that system, it pulls air from outside, does the combustion, and it exhausts the combustion air outside, so there's no carbon monoxide or anything like that getting inside. Just to be safe, just because there is diesel combustion going on somewhere, I have a carbon monoxide alarm up over the bed there, so you know we're safe with that. I keep the switch to the furnace. It's not hidden for like so nobody can find it, but it's just so it's back here so that we don't bump it by accident. And then now you see the furnace is on, and so if I were to hit that button, it would kick the furnace on. And that thing's thermostat controlled, so it will run hotter or cooler and blow more air or less air as it needs to keep the temperature up to whatever you set it at. Between the insulation and this furnace is really powerful. Most of the time it's running like as low as it can go. But I have spent the night in the van at around, it was one weather app said 0 and one said 1 below. It was freaking cold, whatever. And it was windy, and I was out in just kind of an open parking lot, and it was windy, and it kept it at 65 here, and it was running, you know, hard on and off all night. But that's when it runs hard, it just burns a lot of diesel. Normal nights I'll go through about, like if I got the thing running for 10 hours, I'll use something on the order of like 1/3 of a gallon of diesel, and it's got a little over 2 gallon tank in it. So when you're in a cold environment and you know you could bank on a 1/2 gallon a night, you'll go 4 nights before you really need to put more diesel in. So, but I leave this off all the time too, just so you can't accidentally kick the furnace on. So power's off on that. Max Air 7500 fan with remote, and so that's got a thermostat control on it too. I never use the thermostat; it's kind of goofy. it just, you know, if it was a night like tonight where the van's kind of warm right now, you can tell it to blow air in or suck air out, going real hard until it gets a certain temperature, and then it would stop or turn down real low. I never used it. It didn't really seem all that effective, but the remote is super cool because even though the button's only right there, you kind of have to hop up on the bed to get to it. And with the thing sitting right here, I'm always turning the fan on when I'll get out of the van from driving somewhere, and when I'm parking it, I'll want to turn it on, but not necessarily get all the way up in there. I'll be doing something here. So I can just grab it here and turn it on, or I leave it up with me when I'm driving, and right before I get out of the car, I can flick it on. You can, if the air's pulling out, you can drive down the highway with it on. It doesn't hurt anything. I do that sometimes just to circulate some air through the van. So, what else? I left this area open so this is cedar plank, tongue groove ceiling, but I left these areas open because of all these little hooks and things that I can put in here. Putting all these bungees up here becomes really functional. So you can see, like, that's an awesome way to put a paper towel roll up here because it won't unwind itself. It'll hold it tight there. I hang all kinds of things. You know, sometimes in the middle of the night I can grab this to pull myself up. This is a queen mattress, so it's a queen short. So it's the width of a queen and the length of a full. So I'm 5'11", some change, and I can sleep on this. My wife prefers to sleep in a hammock. So you see I've got a big sturdy eye bolt up into the frame of the van there. That green bag is a hammock. Hanging from there, and then we'll thread that all the way to up here, and so she can sleep here in the hammock, and my feet are kind of under her, and then that way, like when I wake up in the morning, I'm always a morning person, she's sleeping in, I can make coffee here with her still in the hammock. I can make coffee, put together breakfast, whatever. So and you want to keep, you know, your yogurt and your creamer and all that cool. So the cool little hidden thing that I have here, I have a Dometic CFX 375 dual zone. So that is a Dometic fridge freezer. It's got 2 compartments, and it can be both a fridge, both a freezer, one a fridge, one a freezer. You can set the temperatures in each compartment to whatever you want. And to get to that, lift the mattress up, and there it is. So just open it up. It's off right now, so the light won't cut on, but when it's on, the light will cut on when you lift that up. There. We usually have this as the fridge, and this is the freezer, but this isn't, like, you know, it's not terribly hard to pull this out. I left the handles on and everything, so you can pull that out and use it out there if you wanted. I never pull it out. I just use it in here. And then if we're doing stuff where we're like loading it up or unloading it, or I'm doing a lot of cooking where I'm in and out of it, I take this tie down here, and then you wrap it over the mattress, and the mattress pulls up, and I hook the tie down to here, and so it kind of just holds the mattress up here so I can get to it real easy. So not quite as easy as if the cooler was here, but all this open space from the back to the front, this whole open area here, was really important to me to keep the kind of utility of the van. So I really didn't want to build anything here and cut this section in half, and it turns out to be really helpful because I kind of use this as my pickup truck too. So I'm picking up like long lumber. You could get more 12-foot lumber in here than you could in anything else, and you can actually get some 16-foot lumber in too if you wanted. So over here, the plumbing system that I use is, instead of a full, you know, built-in permanent water tank, I use 6-gallon jerry cans, which seems kind of weird, but that system allows me to just take those tanks and walk over to a spigot and fill them up. So when I'm on the road, all I got to do is find a nice person that has a hose and let me fill those things up. I don't have to pull up to somewhere where I can put a hose, you know, physically on the van. I can walk around with those. So I've got 6 gallons each. So there's 12 gallons there, and I keep another 6 gallons right behind the driver's seat there. So 18 gallons in here. And this looks complicated, but all it is just on-off valves, so that I have one going, and then when this one runs empty, this one's full, I just turn this valve off, this one on, and that way I've got a little warning system when, okay, I'm halfway out of water there, and then just at some point I can switch out the empty one. So it makes it nice that you don't have to, you know, you're not halfway through a shower and having to be swapping the tanks out or anything. So storage here, we keep our like toiletries and stuff in here. This is good storage for the propane tanks and whatever, and then I do keep a propane stove in here too if I want to be doing like long cooks where I don't have enough electricity for it or something like that. So I've got two methods of cooking. I don't get really complicated with like the button latches and all that. I wanted something that I can just open and close like a normal cabinet when I'm where I want to be. So I just use this system for you know, having these not open. And then this is my system for the drawers. I just have this bar, and then these are soft close drawers. So you know, you can close them like that. They're nice. It's got a nice quality close on it, but that way you don't have to mess with that push button thing every time you want to open the drawer. You know, when I'm here and cooking, I just want to be able to open this and get to all the stuff. Just like, you know, just like as if I was at home. And then when I go to drive, that goes in there, matches with the hole in the floor, and then these aren't going anywhere. So let's go to the back. My main use case for this for the van was for getting the mountain bike races. So, with that in mind, that's where I built the whole garage out from. That's what the height of the bed is dictated off of, like the height of my seat for my bike, which is taller than my wife's bike. So this can fit 4 bikes in here if you want. Most of the time I'm using 2. This track system, it's a pretty universal track system. So I have these set up, and I have it, you can do, these are 100 millimeter, 15 millimeter through axles. You can put 12 millimeter through. I've got other blocks for boost, 110. There's quick release adapters where our quick release road bikes can go in here. And these are all adjustable to slide all over the place. So whatever bikes you use, and they make a ton of T-Track accessories. So, you know, holding things down, holding gear down, you know, fastening things. There's all kinds of T-Track accessories that can go in here. Or this comes out real easy too. The whole thing comes out. So when I don't have the bike racks in here and there's no bikes in here, it's not really in the way. I just leave it in all the time, and I can load lumber and whatever on top of it. So one of the nice things is at night, you're trying to work in here, find your stuff, get in here, find things. Having a nice bright light helps, and also that light continues on into this compartment and that compartment over there, so you can see stuff. And when it's real dark, it's hard to see in here. So there's the back side of the Dometic. So the Dometic can use 12 volt or 110. So I almost never use this because I have shore power plug-in that can go to the front of the van, but this just plugs into a jack up there, and that's how I turn that on. So this is extra bike rack box. So of course, like I said, this is a bike race vehicle, so this is a tool magnet that I've never had a tool fall off there. So that's what these are. That's a good solid thing. More storage under here, and this is a long storage compartment. So this will actually run, it's one solid compartment all the way up to the side of the cupboards there, the side of the cabinets. So you can put all kinds of stuff in there. In here's more storage, and this is the I think it's a 2.5 gallon diesel tank. And you can see the light goes in here too, so you can see what's in here. That stuff's all full. So this is a bug screen that goes up to the side sliding door opening. It's just a Velcro's on, and it's got the magnetic opening. That thing is super cool. I love it. So this compartment's made for camp chairs. You can put whatever you want in there, but camp chairs, I figured out that my camp chair set up like for my previous build had those kind of buried, and it was a pain, and I figured out that I'm always using these things, so it's nice to be able to, no matter how much stuff is piled up in here and you can't get to anything, to be able to open the door and grab a chair and throw it down and just sit down is so nice. So I made this storage so that I could always get to these. So even with a bicycle here, you can actually pull these out. So because of the bike van, I have my bike work stand, but this is just more storage area. Over here, tool storage. Again, it could be whatever you wanted, but for me, it's bike tool storage. And then I've got openings here where I can set stuff here, here, and up here. It's like towels and that kind of thing. This I can hang spare wheels from. So spare wheels will hang here, and the brake rotor will actually sit right here. That's actually a nice little fit, and it holds the wheel snug against the door. Over here, if I'm working on bikes here, this is a nice little setup. So I've got the same shelf here and shelf here. So this is a nice little setup. If I'm working on bikes, I have those doors, so it's like blocking me from wind if I need to. The bike's here, and then I can have my work stand like that, or work table like that. So I can have my stand, my bike, my tools, and stuff. I'm sitting here. And I've got that little groove routed in there, so I don't have bolts rolling around and everything. When I'm done with this, it's just 2 little buttons down here. It folds back down. What else? Anything else that I forgot?
Swivel chairs.
What's that?
Swivel chairs.
Oh, the swivel seats up front. Yep. So, oh yeah, we've got reading lights over the bed, and these are So these are LED as well, and they're super bright. So those are, you know, independently switched, so you have one or the other or both. And then we've also got two USB chargers there. And then these I put so you can, you know, have your phone charging and just sitting right here. And so, you know, we all like to have our phone next to us at night. So these are phone holders, and then you can put other, you know, charging cords, magazines, books, whatever in here. So I think that's everything back here. Fan's blowing away there. And both of the front seats have swivels on them. So the passenger one's kind of more useful, I think. So this thing goes around here, and swivel seats are awesome for opening up space in the van. And it's a, you know, kind of a built-in comfortable seat. Just a nice place to chill out if somebody's sitting on the other seat right there. Now this one's on a swivel as well, but because the shower's here, I just don't use it quite as much. But sometimes if I'm sitting here, I can turn it, you know, I'll turn it around facing, so we're kind of both facing this way, and we can hang out that way. Now I also have a table that's like a work desk that fits right here, and it basically sits on the armrest and the steering wheel, and it's perfectly fit for right here. And then so you can take and do your, you know, set your computer here, do your work here. The inverter is right here, so it's got an extension cord that can go back there if you want to, but you can plug your computer in right here, and then computer can be running, and it's the same thing. It's got a little routed slot in it for, you know, pens don't roll away, and it's got enough room where you can have some paper on the side of it too. But that's just kind of a nice thing because you've got, you know, an adjustable chair that can be made comfortable for whatever sort of office work position you want to do, and you can slide that forward however much room you want. So that's turned out to be a really nice and useful feature too, for working on the road. So besides that, you know, we're up here. It's got the touch screen, Bluetooth, all the, you know, things that modern cars should have. A backup camera, which obviously in a van this size is quite helpful. The mirrors on the van, honestly, are they're very, very well designed, to where there's no blind spots, easily adjustable. They're real big, so you can see everything real easy. I never feel like I can't see my surroundings, so I'm always pretty comfortable driving. So yeah, I think that's it.